All right. Hey guys, look, this is a pretty beautiful spot for me to stop and have a bit of a chat about what I've just done to the KTM 690. So yesterday I installed the Rade Garage Auxiliary tank. So this is an extra fuel solution for the KTM 690. Very neat and tidy. It actually replaces the stock Airbox. If you look up the front here of the bike, you can see the filler port. If you look at it, you can see that the bike doesn't appear to be carrying any extra fuel. It's a really clever solution. It gives you an extra 5.5 litres on this KTM 690 Enduro R, and I think the stock tank is something like 13 litres or so, 13 and a half. So gives you almost 20 litres, 18, 19 litres or something like that. And, you know, it should give me an average range of around 350 kilometres, maybe slightly less if I'm, you know, going into some really sandy areas or, you know, going hard on the bike. But, you know, maybe up to 400 kilometres per fill up if I'm going to do sort of road riding and just sort of touring and stuff. So I've done about 100 Ks so far today. A mixture of twisty tar like we've got back here, a bunch of dirt roads, just sort of a bit of a dual sport mixture of what I normally would do when I'm out riding. So I'll take this seat off. I was going to do that before. Filler port's just here. We'll open this up first real quick. And I'll see if I can see the fuel level. Excellent. So that tank has still got a bit of fuel in there. See that down the bottom? So there's still some fuel in there. That tank was full about 100 Ks ago. So, you know, that's pretty impressive. Now, what's happening with this fuel is that I've set it up to route the fuel directly to the filler port of my, directly to the venting port on the main tank. So Rade Garage includes a kit, and the standard install procedure has you routing the fuel down to the fuel pump. A friend of mine had suggested I do this, given that it simplifies the install, and he's had absolutely no dramas. It does mean that, you know, the Rade tank will always empty first. So I know that some people on the previous year bikes where you have to take the seat off to access the tank, that might annoy them. If you're riding a KTM 690 Enduro R, it actually allows you to sit the filler port just in front of the seat there. So really easy access. So for me, perfect solution. As I said, I'll just take this seat off. Sorry about this. All right, seat is off. And here we are. A bit of sand on top of that. You can see the Rade tank just here. All right, so this is where the stock Airbox sits, and it replaces all of that, but it also includes what they call the small Airbox. So very neat and tidy. The kit comes with 2 twin air filters, and I've purchased separately a couple of twin air filter skins, which sit really nicely over the filter, and also tuck right around the edges of the Airbox. So I think that filter skin will be making my filter changes a lot longer intervals. So hopefully that works out well. Now I'll show you what I've done with fuel routing. Now this is the stock overflow or breather. This is the stock breather that goes through here and into the filler port. So I've got the Vanache or Vanache, however you want to say it. I've got their anodized billet filler cap, because every bike needs a billet filler cap. What I've done is I've routed the fuel. I'm not going to take the tank out or anything like that, but this is the fuel line here, coming up just along the side of the plastics, along the side of the battery, and I've put it where the venting was for this filler. I've just tucked this venting pipe away from here at the moment, so if I'm ever out on a ride and someone needs a bit of pipe, I could always give that to them because I don't really need that. So what's happening? Suction from the main tank. We'll just pull that fuel out of here, and there's the level again. Conveniently, the Rade tank is clear. So I've done, let me just pull up the odometer 100.8 kilometres. Look at that, 100.8 kilometres. And I've still got, I don't know, there'd still be at least a litre in there, maybe. Yeah, so this is incredible. This is really good. Suctions down to the main tank, and yeah, unreal. I have to say, an awesome mod. Probably took me, what do I reckon, maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours to install it. I just took my time, had a few coffees while I was doing it. It's relatively straightforward taking out the stock airbox. That's no problem at all. You have to add a few pipes, crankcase breather, SAS breather. I did have to use different fuel pipe. The stuff that comes with it, it's a bit bigger than 3/16. I needed to use 3/16 to get a good fit over the breather port on the Vanache fuel filler cap. It wasn't tight enough with the stock, and plus it wasn't quite long enough. So I think this piece here that I've routed from this tank, I think it's just over a metre, and I used a zip tie both on the port going into the filler and a zip tie under here. Probably can't see it under there. No, you can't really see it. But yeah, I used a zip tie under there as well. But life is good. Life is good. Really easy solution. Really, really easy solution. So, what a weapon. What an absolute weapon in a beautiful place. More fuel range. Doesn't affect the ergos of it doesn't affect the look of the bike. I didn't really want to stick on, I didn't want to have to carry a rotor pack. Bugger that. No one would even know unless they saw that filler cap up the front there that I've got fuel tucked under where the airbox goes. So that's pretty impressive. I'm just going to go for a really long ride today. I'm going to do another couple of 100 Ks. Keep riding till the fuel light comes on, just to give me a bit of an idea of my range. One last thing I forgot to mention is that if you're running the Scott steering damper with the bracket and everything that you need for that, then you will have to trim the carbon piece which comes with the Rade tank. Let me just zoom in here a little. You'll have to trim, see how I've trimmed just up in there? I've had to cut that a little bit to allow the Scott's damper post to fit with the carbon. But yeah, it looks awesome. No worries with that. So if you happen to have the Scott's damper, you're wondering if the Rade tank will fit, then absolutely it will. You just need to get some snips and just chop a small bit of carbon out of the front of the carbon piece. But it looks really bling having the carbon there. But yeah, it's an A1 product. I highly recommend this fuel tank solution. I think it's probably the best thing out there on the market today if you want to extend the range of your KTM 690. And yeah, shipping was prompt, communication was excellent. I shot off a couple of questions to Rade Garage, and those guys were super helpful. So I can't recommend it enough. Maybe I'll take some photographs and put a few links to this, you know, on a forum page as well. But very simple. Route the fuel line under the tank around here. You can feed it actually under the bracket where the tank sits. The tank sits on a little steel bracket in there. So route it under that so that the fuel line doesn't get squashed by the tank, because when you're sitting down on this, your body weight will push that tank down onto that bracket. Run the fuel line up here, piece of cake, and into that filler port, into the breather there on that one. Just goes under here. You might have to open these bolts here just to lift that up a bit so you can wiggle it through. But super easy. If I can do it, you guys can. Hope this was helpful. This is Tori from Tori's Trails. Thanks again for watching. Alright guys, I'm back. Sorry about this. There's one last thing I forgot to mention, and that is there's a noticeable power gain by switching to the Rade tank. I think on their website they claim 3 to 5 horsepower. I can definitely feel it. I can definitely feel a boost in power. Now mind you, I've got a slip-on that's been opened up. So yeah, with this airbox it's breathing better. It's unreal. Heaps of power, tons. So look, I haven't put it on a dyno, but it's noticeable power. Sometimes you hear people claiming that there's going to be an increase in power, but yeah, front wheels lifting up, unreal. I can power wheelie in 6th. Just compress the forks a little bit and bring it up. No worries at all. No clutch needed. Yeah, so that's another thing you can think about. switch to the Rade tank with that integrated airbox thingo, and yeah, your bike will go faster, it will have more power, more torque. Those things are all fantastic, as is the fuel range. So yeah, once again, highly recommend the Rade Auxiliary tank for the KTM 690 Enduro R.